Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so sorry I haven't posted in about a month and a half, I think. I've just been very busy and I've been traveling basically every weekend, so I haven't had much time to sit down and film. And throughout the week I have classes and I never find a good place to sit down and like talk to a camera, because I think if someone walked by and saw that I was talking to a camera, I'd be probably outcasted. But so this is gonna be part 2 of my Becoming an EPIK Teacher series. This video is gonna be basically all about EPIK orientation and the 7 days of being in Daegu, where my orientation was. So if you want to apply to EPIK or learn more information about the EPIK orientation, keep watching. Okay, so arriving in Korea for orientation. So my journey to Korea is a little bit different because I got to Korea about a half a week earlier than most did, because I was going on a vacation with my friend's family. So when I came to Korea, I flew directly to Incheon International Airport, which is the city right next to Seoul. And then from there, I took a flight down to Jeju with my friend's family. And then after Jeju, I flew from Jeju to Busan, where orientation pickup was. My orientation, it was in Daegu, but they all told us to fly to Busan. So basically, everyone had to arrive in Busan, and then from Busan, we would all take a bus up to Daegu. To be honest, this was pretty great because we didn't have to find our own transportation to orientation. So arriving to the orientation location, oh, that rhymes. So actual orientation was pretty dope. It was basically, I think, 6 days of just doing classes, and some of the classes consisted of like lesson planning or Korean culture, and then a lot of the extracurricular activities we did consisted of like a tea ceremony. We had K-pop class, which was my favorite, and then we also had Taekwondo, which was probably one of the coolest experiences I've done in like a long time. It was really fun. But like I said, the whole 6 days are basically kind of like the same pattern. You go to your classes, you have lunch in the middle, and then you have classes again. So basically it felt like going to college all over again for that week, because orientation was at a college too. So we would bounce from classroom to classroom just as a college student would. But on the second day, we had a health exam, and oh Lord, I was dreading this health exam ever since I applied to EPIK. So in order to be an English teacher in Korea holding an E2 visa, everyone has to get a medical exam. Whether it is done by this actual orientation or you have to go do it yourself at a hospital, you have to get it done. So basically the test for me went like this. I walked in and we weren't allowed to eat or drink anything after midnight the prior day because we were doing a blood exam. So we walk in and it is first a height and weight measurement. And then after the height and weight measurement, we did a eyesight exam, which I probably failed. I mean, I didn't open my medical exam test results because they're confidential. I didn't open it, but I think I probably failed that part. And then after that, we had a color test, which was basically like checking for like color blindness, I think, because it was a paper with like the color, the green and like red number colored paper, and you had to choose what number you saw. I'm really bad at explaining this, but anyway. And then we did blood pressure, and then we waited in line for our blood exam, and this was like the dreaded moment for me. I was trying to like boost my confidence, like, yeah, Megan, I got this. Like, I've drawn blood before, but seems like it didn't work because I sat down and my friends knew that I was like super scared about needles. And so I turned my head away and I held my arm out, and the woman was like, oh, like, 안 아파요, like, doesn't hurt, it doesn't hurt. And I was like, okay, like, I believe you, you know? And then I turned my face away to face my friends, and they were like, yeah, Megan, so what are you gonna do this weekend? And like trying to like distract me from the actual blood drawing. But to be honest, it didn't hurt that much. Like when she put the needle in, blah, 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 it didn't hurt. And then it only hurt when she pulled the needle out. Like I could feel the needle coming out. They took 2 vials, so you're sitting for a good like 30 seconds. So it wasn't too bad, but I felt her pull the needle out. They give you a cotton ball, you put it over the wound, and you get up and you go walk in the little sitting area and you sit and you just wait for the blood to clot. So while I'm sitting there, everything was fine. Like I was talking to my friends, no biggie. And then once I stand up to walk to the urine test, I start getting a little lightheaded. And I was like, holy crap, what's gonna happen here? Because I don't wanna be the class fool that basically fainted during orientation. But I get up, start walking to the urine test, and as I got to the urine test booth, the girl who was sitting there with a cup in her hand, waiting to give it to me, she goes, oh my God, are you okay? And I was like, oh, I think I need to go sit down. I think basically I was having a panic attack. So they, like 2 nurses come and like hold me by the arm and they bring me to this like back room where there was a bed. They lay me down, they give me a blanket like this one, they put it over my body, and all I remember was the room was like spinning. And I think that was the first time I've ever had a panic attack because of a needle, but to be honest, it was super scary. And like I said, I became that girl who fainted during her blood exam because every single person I saw for the rest of the day was like, Megan, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm okay. But after the blood and the urine test, we had a chest x-ray to check for tuberculosis because apparently tuberculosis is pretty big here in Asia. So basically the cool thing about orientation is you are surrounded by the same 40 to 50 people the whole time. Then again, that could be a bad and a good thing. For me, it was good because it made us familiar with everyone who's going to be in the same province as you. The classes are going to be divided by which province you're going to be in. So for example, class 1 and 2, we're going to be those who are located in Seoul or Incheon, or even like sometimes even Gyeonggi-do. I think some of the Gyeonggi-do people were in class 2. My class was class 5, and basically I hung out with class 5 all the time, but this was great because we were all going to be very friendly with each other because we were all in the same province, and it was a great way to make like long-lasting relationships. I have a couple of friends in like class 3 and class 2 who were like located in Seoul and located in like Daejeon, which is a little bit further south. But I'm not as close with them as I am with my other fellow Gangwon-doians. Oh, I cracked myself up. But like I said, it could also be a bad thing because you don't make any friends out of that like friend group because you're always with Gangwon-do people. You only know Gangwon-do people. So the meals also at orientation were not that bad. It was basically cafeteria style and it was always the same time every day. It was basically like college food, but Korean style. So everything we ate was Korean food, basically. Okay, so one day of the week, which is normally gonna be closer to the end, so for me it was a Thursday, we went on a field trip. So depending on where your orientation is, it's gonna determine where you're gonna go for a field trip. So for my group, we were in Daegu, so we went to Andong, which is like a little town kind of further up. It was like a 2-hour bus ride. 2 hours? It was a 2-hour bus ride. So we also made traditional Korean paper in Andong. It was kind of next to the mask museum we went to. And the paper apparently can last 2,000 years. So all of us are trying to decide what to write on the paper because we know it'll outlive us. So I'm probably gonna bury mine somewhere in Arizona. Don't know, but I'm trying to think of something to write. So after 5 or 6 fun days of orientation, the last day was finally the day that we get our location. Okay, sorry, that's a very long bell. Right, so the last day of orientation is gonna be your placement day. Like I said in the first video, I think I said this in the first video, but application basically just states where you're going to be placed province-wise. So you don't find out your city or your like school until the last day of orientation, which is going to be Sunday, I believe. So basically all of us were really nervous because we didn't know which city we were going to be placed in. And Gangwon-do is a pretty big province. You could be up near the border or you could be down further near like Daegu. So it is very vast. And I was pretty worried because I wanted to be in a city that was closer to Seoul so that I could have easy transportation from my location to Seoul. Ended up not being that way. So anyway, this was the moment we were all waiting for. And we all sit down in the classroom and the leader of the Gangwon-do, I think Provincial Office of Education, came to talk to us. And she was telling us basically all of the facts of Gangwon-do, blah, blah, blah. And all of us, we probably weren't paying attention because we were just like, give us our city, give us our city. So after her little presentation, she calls out our names on a roster and she then tells us where we will be placed. It was very nerve-wracking, but we all ended up getting a location, and I would say most of us are pretty happy with our placements, albeit it's been 3 months, but in the very beginning, I would say that it was a little bit hard on some of us because we didn't expect to be placed where we were placed. And I think coming into the program, a lot of us wanted to be in a bigger city, but most of us who were in the province of Gangwon-do did not get a big city. So a lot of us were not necessarily disappointed, but a little bit shook when we got our city names. So the last day, which was Monday, is where we all leave for our locations. And to be honest, this was a very sad day. You say goodbye to your class leaders, you say goodbye to all of the teachers that taught you, and you say goodbye to your what was once your home for a week, basically. And like I said, a lot of us were going in the same area because we were all in the same class, so all your friends kind of go in the same area as you, but it's not the same, you know, because orientation was very, how do I say, it was very easy because all of us were in the same location, all speaking English, and it felt like little English speaking world in a country that primarily speaks Korean. So it was hard to leave all of my English speaking friends. But I knew that one of the main reasons why I came here to Korea is because I wanted to test my Korean and boost my proficiency in the language. But of course, it's always gonna be a little nerve-wracking, right? But I still see my co-EPIK teachers basically every weekend. Like I said, I've been traveling every single weekend because I'm going places with them. So it's not like you're never gonna see them again, but it's just, it can be a little bit hard in the first few weeks when you're placed in your town kind of alone and you don't really have other friends with you. It's kind of draining to have to travel every weekend just to see them. But if you like each other a lot, you will make an effort to travel. So that's basically everything for the video. And orientation sounds like all fun and games, but once the days start passing by, it becomes more and more real, which is not meant to be scary, but it's crazy to think that you will be with a lot of your friends for a week, and then after that, everything becomes solely you teaching English. It's crazy to think about, but you can do it. I believe in you. So if you want to see more videos about becoming an EPIK teacher, subscribe to my channel and you will see more because I will be a better YouTuber and I will post more frequently. But anyway, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!